We live on a pale blue dot, but what lies just beyond our cosmic backyard? From the scorched inferno of Venus to the mysterious ice giants lurking in the dark, this is your ultimate journey through Earth's neighboring planets. We've brought together every episode, every swirling storm, every ring, every moon, and every mind-blowing mystery into one epic 90-minute voyage. Whether you're a space enthusiast or just curious what's out there, this is more than a documentary. It's a front-row seat to the wonders of our planetary neighborhood. So buckle up, hit play, relax, and let's explore the planets like never before. Blink, and you'd miss it. It's the smallest, fastest, and most extreme planet in our solar system, a world where a single day lasts longer than a year, and temperatures swing from molten hot to ice cold. This isn't science fiction. This is Mercury, and what lies beneath its scorched surface might just blow your mind. Imagine a world where the sun looms 3 times larger in the sky. Temperatures swing from scorching heat to freezing cold, and the landscape is dotted with ancient scars from cosmic collisions. Welcome to Mercury, the smallest and most enigmatic planet in our solar system. Mercury, named after the swift Roman messenger god, is the closest planet to the sun. Despite its proximity, it's not the hottest planet. That title belongs to Venus. But what makes Mercury truly fascinating is its extreme conditions and unique characteristics. Mercury is slightly larger than Earth's moon, making it the smallest planet in our solar system. It orbits the sun every 88 Earth days, traveling at a speed of nearly 29 miles per second. However, its rotation is slow. It takes 59 Earth days to complete one full rotation on its axis. Mercury's lack of a substantial atmosphere leads to the most extreme temperature fluctuations in the solar system. Daytime temperatures can soar up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit, 430 degrees Celsius, while nighttime temperatures can plummet to negative 330 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 201 degrees Celsius, creating a temperature swing of over 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit, 600 degrees Celsius. Mercury's surface is heavily cratered, resembling Earth's moon. The largest impact basin, Caloris Planitia, spans about 1,550 kilometers in diameter. These craters are remnants of violent collisions from the early solar system. Recent studies suggest that deep within Mercury's mantle, under extreme pressure and temperature, carbon may crystallize into diamonds. This discovery hints at a 9 to 11 mile thick layer of diamonds beneath the planet's surface, offering a glimpse into Mercury's unique geological history. Mercury possesses a magnetic field, albeit weak, which is offset from its center. This magnetic field interacts with the solar wind, creating magnetic tornadoes that funnel charged particles down to the surface. Additionally, Mercury has a thin exosphere composed of atoms blasted off its surface by solar radiation. Mercury remained a mystery until NASA's Mariner 10 mission in the 1970s, which provided the first close-up images. Later, the Messenger spacecraft orbited Mercury from 2011 to 2015, revealing detailed information about its surface, magnetic field, and exosphere. While Mercury's extreme temperatures and lack of atmosphere make it inhospitable for life as we know it, scientists continue to study its unique conditions to understand the potential for life in extreme environments elsewhere in the universe. Mercury's proximity to the Sun and its unique characteristics provide valuable insights into planetary formation and the dynamics of our solar system. Studying Mercury helps scientists understand the processes that shaped not only our solar system, but also exoplanetary systems. Did you know? Mercury has no moons. Its day is longer than its year, and its surface is named after famous artists and musicians, including Dr. Seuss and Beethoven. Mercury may be small and distant, but its unique characteristics make it a fascinating subject of study. As we continue to explore our solar system, Mercury remains a key to unlocking the mysteries of planetary formation and evolution. It takes about 3 to 7 months to get to Mercury from Earth, depending on the spacecraft's trajectory and the specific method used. For example, Mariner 10 took about 5 months, while Messenger, which had to slow down to orbit, took 6 years. More advanced spacecraft with different propulsion systems might reach Mercury in less time, but this would also depend on the type of mission and the spacecraft's ability to slow down enough to be captured by Mercury's gravity. Could we live on Mercury? Short answer, no, not with current technology. Mercury might look cool, but it's definitely not built for human life. Here's why. First, the temperature swings are wild. During the day, the surface can hit a blistering 800 degrees Fahrenheit, 430 degrees Celsius, and at night, it drops to negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 180 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than a pizza oven, then colder than Antarctica, all in one day. Next, no atmosphere. Mercury has only a thin exosphere, not enough air to breathe, and no way to trap heat. So, you're stuck with those extreme temps and zero protection. Then there's the solar radiation. Mercury is super close to the sun and lacks a magnetic field, so it gets blasted by solar wind. Not great for human health. Oh, and no water. There's no real supply of liquid water, which is kind of a deal breaker for life as we know it. Could we theoretically build underground bases or high-tech habitats? Sure, in science fiction. But with today's tech, living on Mercury just isn't possible. So no, we can't live on Mercury, at least not yet. And there you have it, Mercury, the tiniest planet with the biggest attitude. Scorching hot, freezing cold, no air, and definitely not vacation-friendly, unless you're a robot. If you thought Earth had wild weather, just wait till you land on Mercury, or better yet, don't. If you think the scariest place in the solar system is a dark hole in space, think again. There's a planet right next door that's boiling hot, crushes metal like paper, and rains acid from the sky. Welcome to Venus, where even robots go to die. You're about to find out why Venus might be the most dangerous, chaotic, and completely insane planet we've ever discovered. Welcome back, space connoisseurs. Today, we're taking a trip to the planet that might just be hell's vacation home. That's right, Venus, the second rock from the Sun and possibly the most terrifying place in the entire solar system. Venus is like Earth's evil twin, same size, same mass, but instead of beaches and puppies, it has acid rain, crushing pressure, and temperatures hot enough to melt lead. Let's start with the basics. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, sitting pretty at about 67 million miles away. It's roughly the same size as Earth, so scientists call it our sister planet. But if this is our sister, she listens to death metal, lives in a volcano, and hates visitors. Venus's atmosphere is like a weighted blanket from your nightmares. It's 96% carbon dioxide and super thick. How thick? Imagine being 3,000 feet underwater, but with lava bubbles. That's how much pressure you'd feel standing on the surface. One wrong move and your spacecraft would crumple like a soda can in a trash compactor. Need a facial? Venus offers complimentary sulfuric acid clouds. That's right. Venus literally rains acid. But don't worry. The planet's so hot, the acid evaporates before it even hits the ground. What a relief, right? Let's talk heat. Venus has a surface temperature of around 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than Mercury, even though Mercury is closer to the Sun. Why? Because Venus has the worst case of greenhouse gases in the solar system. It traps heat like your car on a July afternoon. If that car were made of lava. Time works weird on Venus. One day, one full spin on its axis takes 243 Earth days. But a full orbit around the Sun, its year, takes only 225 Earth days. That's right, a Venusian day is longer than its year. Oh, and it spins backwards. The Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Basically, Venus is doing donuts in space with no regard for the rules. Venus is the graveyard of space probes. The Soviet Union's Venera missions were the first to touch down and melt. Venera 13 lasted 127 minutes, which is basically forever in Venus time. NASA's Magellan mapped the planet from orbit in the 90s, but no one's landed there since. Future missions like NASA's Veritas and Europe's Envision aim to crack Venus's secrets. But will they survive? Venus doesn't play nice. In the not-so-distant future, a new wave of exploration is set to descend on the shrouded world of Venus. After decades of being overlooked in favor of Mars, Venus is finally regaining the spotlight. As mentioned, NASA's upcoming Veritas and Da Vinci Plus missions, along with Europe's Envision orbiter and India's planned Shukrayan-1, are poised to peel back the mystery of this alien planet. These missions will dive deep into Venus's atmosphere, scan its fractured surface, and search for signs of ancient oceans or even volcanic activity still raging today. Each spacecraft is like a robotic pioneer, gathering the vital data needed to determine whether we could one day build habitats in the skies, or perhaps terraform small sections of this fiery world. These missions won't just teach us about Venus. They'll redefine where and how we might live beyond Earth. Here's the twist. In 2020, scientists detected a strange chemical in Venus's clouds, phosphine, which on Earth is usually a sign of life. Now, that doesn't mean little green aliens are floating around in acid clouds, but it's enough to make astronomers say, hey, what if? So, could we eventually live on Venus? Imagine stepping out onto the surface of Venus, not in a sleek spacesuit, but inside a reinforced habitat floating high above its scorched, sulfuric clouds. While the surface below is a hellscape of crushing pressure, molten rock, and temperatures hot enough to melt lead, about 50 kilometers above, conditions become eerily Earth-like. The temperature cools to a livable range, and the pressure is similar to what we experience at sea level. Could this be the key? Scientists envision enormous floating cities, tethered like balloons, drifting in the planet's thick atmosphere. But even here, challenges loom. Sulfuric acid rains, intense winds, and the constant threat of corrosion. Still, with bold engineering and a spark of imagination, Venus's skies could one day become humanity's second home, an upside-down world where we don't walk on land, but live among the clouds. So to recap, Venus is hot, angry, backward spinning, acid raining, and somehow still mysterious. Would you go there? Let us know in the comments. And remember, if you're packing for Venus, bring sunscreen, a reinforced pressure suit, and maybe an escape plan. You think Mars is just a dead red rock floating in space? Think again. Shifting sand dunes and mysterious rock formations, ancient riverbeds, dust devils, and tech that puts your phone camera to shame? Mars has a lot going on right now. Let me explain. NASA just dropped some of the clearest images of Mars we've ever seen, and the internet is having a field day. Why? Because apparently we can see sand dunes on Mars better than we can see someone stealing packages from our front porch. These stunning 360-degree shots from the Curiosity rover are going viral again, even though they were taken way back in 2015. But now, people are noticing one strangely hilarious thing. How can NASA photograph a sand dune 140 million miles away, but your $200 security cam can't read a license plate 20 feet out? Let's break it down. This image is from the Bagnol Dune Field near the base of Mount Sharp, one of the most intriguing spots on Mars. Captured on the rover's 1,197th sol, that's a Martian day, this full-circle panorama shows active sand dunes, sweeping landscapes, and even parts of the rover itself. The mast cam, that's the main camera on Curiosity, captured this in crazy high resolution. NASA even color-adjusted the photo to mimic Earth sunlight, so it looks like how we'd see it with our own eyes. People online are shocked. In classic internet style, some users went full roast mode. One comment nailed it. Do you think the people exploring Mars also install your Walmart security system? Touché. Here's the serious side. NASA's cameras aren't just better. They're custom-built, mission-critical scientific instruments. The Mastcam was developed by Malin Space Science Systems and is designed to do geological analysis on another planet. We're talking HD imaging, stereo vision, and precision optics. Compare that to your average commercial camera, which costs a couple $100 and is optimized for motion detection and basic visuals. Very different priorities. But it's not just pretty pictures. These dunes are active. They shift about a meter every Earth year. Studying them helps scientists understand wind, erosion, and surface processes on Mars, which is crucial for planning future missions and even possible human exploration. So yeah, while your doorbell cam might still be stuck in the 2000s, NASA is quietly making history 140 million miles away, one ridiculously crisp image at a time. And hey, before we move on, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe upgrade your security cam. Mars dropped a bombshell, and it's not from a meteor. Scientists have just discovered what could be the biggest clue yet in the search for alien life. A massive hidden ocean buried deep beneath the surface of the red planet. And it's not just a few puddles. We're talking enough water to cover the entire planet in a mile-deep global ocean. Using seismic data collected by NASA's InSight lander, which operated on Mars from 2018 to 2022, scientists built a detailed map of what lies beneath Mars's crust, and what they found is jaw-dropping, an underground reservoir buried between 7 and 13 miles down, trapped inside fractured volcanic rock. That's deeper than we've ever drilled here on Earth, and almost impossible to reach with today's tech. But what it might be hiding makes the effort worth imagining. Could something be living in that hidden ocean? One of the lead researchers, UC Berkeley's Professor Michael Manga, says it's totally possible. Here on Earth, life thrives in the strangest places: deep-sea vents, underground mines, boiling sulfur springs. If Mars has liquid water, even deep underground, it could have life too. Mars was once a water world, rivers, lakes, even oceans. But about 3.5 billion years ago, it dried up. What happened? Scientists believe a sudden climate shift, maybe a lost magnetic field or a cosmic impact, stripped the surface dry. But now, it seems the water didn't escape into space. Instead, it may have soaked into the crust, pooling into vast underground reservoirs. Here's the problem. The deepest hole we've ever dug on Earth, the Kola Super Deep borehole in Russia, went just 7.6 miles down. This Martian ocean starts deeper than that. Right now, reaching it is beyond us. But NASA isn't giving up. They're already collecting surface samples that might hold signs of past life. The Perseverance rover has been gathering samples in Jezero crater since 2021, and a Mars sample return mission was supposed to launch in 2026. But delays have pushed it back to 2040. NASA is now looking to private companies to help speed things up. If someone figures out how to tap into Mars's deep crust, we might one day reach that underground ocean and finally answer the biggest question of all. Are we alone? What do you think is hiding beneath the surface of Mars? Pause the videos and drop your theories in the comments. Aliens, microbes, or maybe just a really lonely puddle. Every spring, something strange crawls across the surface of Mars. But it's not what you think. Meet the Martian spiders. Creepy, massive, and completely natural. And no, they're not aliens either, but they are one of the weirdest recurring events on the red planet. These strange, spidery shapes, spotted mostly in a region called Inca City, appear every spring near Mars's south pole. To the untrained eye, they look like swarms of insects or something crawling under the surface. But in reality, these are not creatures at all. They're the result of one of Mars' wildest natural processes, involving exploding dry ice. Here's how it works. Mars gets cold. We're talking minus 123 degrees Celsius during winter. That's so cold, carbon dioxide freezes, turning into solid dry ice that coats the surface. As spring begins, that dry ice doesn't melt. It sublimates, jumping straight from solid to gas. But when the gas is trapped under surface layers, pressure builds. Eventually, boom! The gas erupts through the ice, blasting dust and particles into the air like a geyser. When the dust falls back down, it creates these bizarre starburst patterns. These aren't tiny doodles in the sand. These spiders can be anywhere from 45 to 1,000 meters wide. That's up to 10 football fields across. Most of the spiders show up in an area called Inca City, officially known as Angustus labyrinthus. Discovered in 1972, the region got its nickname because its mysterious ridges resemble Incan ruins back on Earth. To this day, no one knows exactly how those ridges formed. But scientists believe the landscape might be made of sand dunes turned to stone over millions of years, not an alien city. Here's the cool part. Mars has seasons, just like Earth, but they're twice as long. Since November 12, 2024, it's spring again on the South Pole, and scientists are awaiting to see the spiders burst from beneath the surface once more. From geysers of exploding dry ice to kilometer-wide dust patterns, Mars proves again that it's weird, wild, and worth watching. If you thought spiders on Earth were creepy, try explaining these to your arachnophobic friends. Hit that like button if Mars just blew your mind, and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries. They definitely aren't aliens. Probably. Moving on. Buried beneath the icy crust of Mars' North Pole, something strange has been found. Something dense, something shapeless. And one of these buried anomalies? It looks eerily like a dog. This isn't sci-fi, it's science. And Mars just got a whole lot weirder. Scientists have just unveiled the first true global gravity map of Mars, and it reveals something unexpected. 20 dense blobs hidden beneath the surface of an ancient Martian seabed. These blobs lie in the Borealis Basin, a massive impact zone that used to be an ocean over 3 billion years ago. One of the blobs? It looks like a dog, seriously. They're massive, up to hundreds of kilometers wide, and 300 to 400 kilograms per cubic meter denser than the surrounding rock. So, how did they even find these hidden Martian beasts? Not with a shovel, but with gravity. Researchers used data from NASA's InSight lander and satellites like the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and Mars Express. These spacecraft measured tiny orbital wobbles caused by underground mass, revealing gravitational anomalies. So, what are these blobs? Honestly, scientists aren't sure. They could be ancient volcanic remnants or compressed rock from meteor impacts. But the weirdest part? There's no sign of them at the surface. They're completely hidden. And it's not just the North Pole hiding secrets. The map also confirms a gigantic lava plume beneath Olympus Mons, the tallest mountain in the solar system. That 1,100-mile-wide blob is less dense, likely ancient lava that may still be warm, suggesting Mars volcanoes might not be dead after all. These buried blobs could hold the key to understanding Mars's geological history, past oceans, or even signs of ancient life. Scientists are already proposing a new mission called MACHULS to send twin spacecraft into orbit and probe these blobs in even more detail. A buried Martian dog, ancient lava plumes, and invisible blobs hiding under ancient seas. Mars keeps surprising us, and we've only scratched the surface. So, the question you all want to know. Everyone's talking about colonizing Mars, from space agencies to billionaire dreamers like Elon Musk. But let's ask the real question. Can we actually live there, not visit, not orbit? I mean, survive, thrive, raise families, build cities. Let's break it down. To live on Mars, we have to get there first. And that's no walk in the park. NASA's planning a crewed mission in the 2030s, but SpaceX? They want to go much sooner. Musk's Starship, the largest, most powerful rocket ever built, is designed to be fully reusable and Mars-ready. And while it's still in the testing phase, each launch brings it closer to real missions. In fact, Musk says we could see an uncrewed Starship on Mars by 2026, and people on Mars by 2028. And for once, that might not be total fantasy. With Falcon 9's track record and Starship's potential, the transportation piece is nearly there. But here's the thing. Getting to Mars is just the beginning. Living there? That's a nightmare. Mars has almost no atmosphere, no breathable air, 1/3 of Earth's gravity, and no magnetic field, which means deadly radiation from the sun and space constantly bombards the surface. Get your Factor 50 sunscreen out. To survive, colonists would need to live in heavily shielded bunkers, likely underground, or in structures made from local materials, maybe even 3D printed from Martian dust. NASA's working on it. They've even tested using Martian regolith simulant for building, and future moon missions will trial space construction tech. But this is at least a decade away. Even if we build those homes, can humans physically survive long-term on Mars? We don't know. 1/3 gravity might mess with our muscles, bones, organs, even our ability to have children. We've only studied weightlessness and microgravity, not partial gravity. Your spine, blood flow, vision, everything could change in unpredictable ways. Bottom line, we might not be biologically compatible with Mars. So, let's say you do make it to Mars. You survive the radiation, you adapt to the gravity. Now what? You're living in a glorified tent on a red wasteland. Everything, food, medicine, spare parts, has to come from Earth. Want a tomato? No Amazon Prime. That's a 9-month delivery window. We don't have the tech to support large populations on Mars. No supply chain, no manufacturing, no hospitals. Not yet. Despite the hype, colonizing Mars is still science fiction. Yes, we're building the rockets. Yes, billionaires are pushing the envelope. And yes, one day humans will step on Martian soil. But colonization, raising families, building cities, that's still a huge unknown. Maybe it's possible, maybe not. We just don't know yet. And until we send real humans on real missions to test these limits, Mars remains a dream, not a destination. Can we live on Mars? Maybe. But surviving on another world isn't just about rockets. It's about rethinking what it means to be human. Would you volunteer for a one-way trip to Mars? Let us know in the comments. Imagine a planet so massive it could swallow every other planet in the solar system and still have room for more. A world with storms bigger than Earth, radiation belts that could kill in minutes, and moons that might be hiding alien oceans beneath their icy crusts. This isn't science fiction. This is Jupiter. And what we've discovered will leave you speechless. In the endless dark of space, one planet stands as a giant among worlds, bigger than all the other planets combined, a gas titan so massive it bends the very fabric of our solar system. This is Jupiter. It's not just the largest planet in our solar system, it's a monster. A planet so big, you could fit 1,300 Earths inside. But size isn't the only thing that makes Jupiter extraordinary. From its deadly radiation belts to its raging storms and dozens of strange moons, Jupiter is a world of chaos, beauty, and power. 4.6 billion years ago, the Sun ignited in a burst of nuclear fusion. Around it, a disk of gas and dust began to swirl. Within that disk, Jupiter was born. Formed first and formed fast, Jupiter devoured most of the leftover gas. Becoming a failed star, stopped just short of achieving nuclear fusion itself. If Jupiter had grown just 80 times larger, we might be orbiting a binary sun. Jupiter isn't solid like Earth. Beneath its colorful clouds lies a world of crushing pressure, where hydrogen gas becomes liquid and, deeper still, transforms into metallic hydrogen. A strange, exotic state of matter that can conduct electricity and generates Jupiter's immense magnetic field, the largest in the solar system and at the core. Scientists believe there may be a solid rocky heart, or something stranger, a slushy hot soup of elements under unimaginable pressure. It's larger than Earth, older than any storm in human history, and it's been raging for centuries without ever stopping. Welcome to the Great Red Spot, the most powerful storm in the solar system. The Great Red Spot is a massive storm system on Jupiter, a swirling anticyclone twice the size of Earth. It rotates counterclockwise in the planet's southern hemisphere, with winds reaching over 430 kilometers per hour. That's faster than most Category 5 hurricanes on Earth. But unlike Earth's storms, which last days or weeks, this one has lasted for at least 350 years, and maybe much longer. The earliest confirmed observation of the Great Red Spot comes from Giovanni Cassini in 1665, but even then, it was already enormous. Since then, astronomers have been watching and wondering, what keeps it going? Why is it shrinking? And will it ever die? The Great Red Spot is a high-pressure system, the opposite of hurricanes on Earth. It towers up to 8 kilometers, 5 miles, above Jupiter's cloud tops and digs deep into the planet's dense atmosphere. It's flanked by powerful jet streams, one moving eastward, the other westward, locking the storm in place and feeding its energy. And while Earth's atmosphere is limited to a thin shell, Jupiter's atmosphere is hundreds of kilometers deep, providing endless fuel for its massive storms. No one knows exactly why the Great Red Spot is red. Some scientists believe the color comes from complex chemical reactions involving sulfur, phosphorus, and solar ultraviolet radiation. These reactions may create chromophores, colorful compounds in the upper atmosphere that tint the clouds. But it's still a mystery. In fact, depending on how deep we look, the storm appears in shades ranging from pale orange to deep crimson. Over the last 150 years, the Great Red Spot has been shrinking. In the late 1800s, it measured about 40,000 kilometers wide. Today, it's less than 16,000 kilometers across and still getting smaller. No one is sure why or whether it's a sign the storm is weakening or evolving. Some researchers think it may vanish within our lifetime, while others believe it could stabilize or transform into a new kind of vortex entirely. Thanks to NASA's Juno spacecraft orbiting Jupiter since 2016, we've gotten our closest look ever at the Great Red Spot. Juno revealed that the storm reaches at least 300 kilometers deep, far deeper than we imagined, and possibly even deeper still. It also confirmed that Jupiter's atmosphere is far more complex, with stacked storms, swirling bands, and magnetic fields that interact in ways we still don't fully understand. The Great Red Spot is more than a storm. It's a symbol, a monument to the raw, chaotic power of nature on a planetary scale. It's a mystery that has outlasted empires, survived revolutions in science, and continues to challenge our understanding of weather, physics, and the universe. One day, it may fade, but for now, it rages on, silently, endlessly, majestically. This is Jupiter's Great Red Spot, the eternal storm. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Jupiter's most iconic feature, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a journey through space. Moving on. Orbiting Jupiter are over 90 moons, and 4 of them are among the most fascinating worlds in the solar system. Io, the most volcanically active body in existence, its surface constantly reshaped by rivers of lava. Europa, an icy world with a liquid ocean beneath, an ocean that could hold more water than all of Earth's combined, and perhaps life. Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, even bigger than Mercury, and it has its own magnetic field. Callisto, ancient, cratered, and quiet, a relic from the early solar system. Each of these moons is a world unto itself, and potential destinations for future missions, and maybe even human colonization. Jupiter isn't just a marvel, it's also a menace. Its radiation belts are a death zone, strong enough to fry spacecraft electronics and endanger astronauts within hours. Any future missions must be shielded like submarines in space, just to survive. But Jupiter's destructive force might have helped protect us. Its gravity acts like a cosmic vacuum cleaner, pulling in or flinging away asteroids and comets that could have otherwise struck Earth. In a way, Jupiter may be the guardian of our planet. NASA's Juno spacecraft is rewriting everything we thought we knew, capturing stunning images, mapping magnetic fields, and peering beneath the clouds. And soon, the Europa Clipper will launch, set to explore one of Jupiter's most intriguing moons in search of alien life. The questions are endless. Can life exist beneath Europa's ice? Could we someday build bases in orbit? What secrets does Jupiter still hold? Jupiter is not just a planet. It's a colossus, a force of nature, a mystery we are only beginning to unravel. In its clouds, we find storms older than history. In its moons, we find oceans that may shelter life. And in its gravity, the shaping hand of the solar system itself. This is Jupiter, the king of planets. Imagine a planet so massive it could hold over 750 Earths, a world where storms rage for centuries and rings stretch wider than the distance from Earth to the Moon. That planet is Saturn. But behind its beauty lies a cosmic mystery. Coming up, why are its rings vanishing? Why does its North Pole have a perfectly shaped hexagon storm? And what secrets are buried beneath its frozen moons, moons that could possibly harbor alien life? It isn't just another gas giant. It's a planetary paradox. And today, we're diving deep into the strangest, most stunning planet in our solar system. This is everything you need to know about Saturn. Saturn, the gas giant that looks more like a painting than a planet. But behind its beauty lies a world of mystery, violence, and bizarre science fiction-like phenomena. Except it's all real. Let's start with what Saturn is most famous for. Its rings. They're over 170,000 miles wide, but only about 30 feet thick. That's thinner than a football field is long. These rings are constantly colliding, crumbling, and reforming. And here's the kicker. They're disappearing. According to NASA, Saturn is losing its rings at a rate fast enough to make them vanish in just 100 million years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time. So yes, we're lucky to be alive at a time when we can witness this celestial masterpiece. They're the most iconic feature in our solar system, vast, dazzling, and mysteriously vanishing. Saturn's rings look like something out of science fiction, stretching over 170,000 miles wide, yet razor thin, often no thicker than a 10-story building. Saturn's rings are made mostly of ice, with just a sprinkle of rock and dust. They orbit the planet in perfect harmony, creating the illusion of a solid disk. But these aren't solid structures. They're billions, yes, billions, of icy particles, ranging from the size of sand grains to house-sized boulders, all orbiting Saturn at speeds up to 48,000 kilometers per hour. NASA's Cassini mission gave us our best look yet. It flew through the rings, revealing intricate details, waves caused by Saturn's moons, ghostly gaps, and even mini-ring moons carving paths like shepherds in a frozen flock. But here's the shocking truth. Those rings won't last. NASA scientists estimate Saturn is losing up to 10,000 kilograms of ring material every second. It's literally raining ice onto the planet. In just 100 million years, they could be gone forever. And while Saturn formed over 4.5 billion years ago, new research suggests the rings may be shockingly young, less than 400 million years old. Someday, Saturn will be just another gas giant, its crown lost to time. But we're living in the golden age of ring gazing, possibly the only era in history when they exist in their full glory. So next time you look up at Saturn through a telescope, remember, you're witnessing a rare cosmic phenomenon, one that's been hiding secrets, vanishing quietly, and dazzling humanity for only a moment in the grand story of the universe. If you found this as mind-blowing as we did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives into space, and let us know, what do you think is Saturn's greatest mystery? Moving on. After the rings, there's the planet itself. Composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, Saturn has no solid surface. If you tried to land on it, you'd sink into layers of crushing pressure and extreme temperatures and die long before reaching anything remotely solid. But perhaps the weirdest thing about Saturn? Its hexagon. At the North Pole of the planet, winds swirl in a massive six-sided jet stream nearly 20,000 miles across. Scientists still don't fully understand how this symmetrical storm even exists. Saturn may be famous for its rings, but what orbits just beyond them is even stranger. With over 140 moons, and more discovered every year, Saturn isn't just a planet. It's a miniature solar system. Each of Saturn's moons is a world of its own. Some are frozen, others volcanic. One even has a thick atmosphere, while another sprays water into space. And the craziest part? At least two of them could harbor alien life. Meet Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Bigger than Mercury, it's the only moon in the entire solar system with a thick atmosphere, and it's made mostly of nitrogen, just like Earth. It's even more Earth-like than Mars, with lakes, rivers, and rain. Beneath its icy crust may be a hidden ocean, where some scientists believe alien life could be lurking right now. Then there's Enceladus, a tiny icy moon just 500 kilometers wide. But don't let its size fool you. Enceladus has massive geysers erupting from its south pole, blasting water vapor and organic molecules into space. Scientists now believe there's a salty subsurface ocean beneath its crust, and it might just be habitable. NASA's Cassini spacecraft even flew through these plumes, detecting hydrogen, methane, and other ingredients essential for life. It was like driving through a frozen alien sneeze, and it might have been the closest we've ever come to finding extraterrestrial biology. But Saturn's moons only get weirder. There's Mimas, which looks exactly like the Death Star. Iapetus, with one half as dark as coal and the other as bright as snow. And Hyperion, a sponge-like moon that tumbles chaotically through space with almost no gravity. Some of these moons may be captured asteroids, others formed from Saturn's rings, and new ones are still being discovered. We've now found more moons around Saturn than any other planet. From methane lakes to alien oceans, Saturn's moons aren't just cold rocks. They're entire worlds that challenge what we thought we knew about where life could exist. Saturn is more than just a ring giant. It's a planet of extremes, of elegance, and of endless enigmas. And the deeper we look, the stranger it gets. If you thought Saturn was just a pretty planet, think again. Hit like if you learned something new. Subscribe for more mind-blowing space content. And remember, the universe is never what it seems. There's a planet in our solar system that defies logic. It spins on its side. Its seasons last 21 years. And deep beneath its icy clouds, it may actually rain diamonds. Yet we've only visited it once, and since then, it's been ignored. This is Uranus, the most mysterious, misunderstood, and overlooked planet in the solar system. But what if the strangest world we've ever found is the one that holds the most important answers? From bizarre magnetism to a possible ocean of electrified ice, Uranus is more than just a punchline. It's a planetary enigma, and it's time we finally paid attention. In the silent depths of our solar system, there drifts a world so strange, so mysterious, it defies what we thought we knew about planets. Tilted on its side, cloaked in a pale cyan glow, Uranus is the ice giant that almost no one talks about. But perhaps it's the one we should be paying the most attention to. Located nearly 3 billion kilometers from the Sun, Uranus is the 7th planet in our solar system. It's massive, over 14 times the mass of Earth, yet invisible to the naked eye. For centuries, it eluded our gaze until one night in 1781, when astronomer William Herschel spotted it, mistaking it for a star. It was the first planet discovered with a telescope, a moment that redefined the boundaries of our known solar system. But even today, Uranus remains largely unexplored. Only one spacecraft, Voyager 2, has ever flown past it. That was in 1986. What it revealed was bizarre. It's January 24th, 1986. After traveling for over 8 years and more than 2 billion miles, NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft makes its closest approach to Uranus, just 81,500 kilometers above the cloud tops. Back on Earth, scientists wait breathlessly. No one knows what to expect. Uranus has never been seen up close before, only through telescopes, distant and blurry. What Voyager sends back is strange, a planet unlike any other. Pale blue, eerily featureless. No storm bands like Jupiter, no swirling clouds like Neptune. Just a smooth, frozen face staring into the void. Voyager confirmed something shocking. Uranus is tilted over, not slightly, but dramatically. This shocked the scientists. They didn't know at the time. It spins on its side like a rolling ball, with its poles aimed where most planets have their equators. But there was more. Voyager 2 detects a delicate set of rings, nearly invisible from Earth. Thin, dark, mysterious. Fragments of shattered moons or remnants from a violent past. Then it discovered the moons. 10 new ones discovered during the flyby. Some cratered, some fractured. Miranda, in particular, stunned scientists. Its surface, a patchwork of canyons, cliffs, and ancient scars, like a jigsaw puzzle torn apart and stitched back together. And then, just like that, it was over. Voyager 2 slipped past the icy giant, continuing its eternal journey into the dark. A fleeting visit, a brief hello, and then silence once more. No spacecraft has returned to Uranus since. Voyager 2 gave us a glimpse, just one, and left us with more questions than answers. In just 6 hours, Voyager 2 transformed our understanding of a planet we barely knew existed. A silent witness to a forgotten frontier, still waiting for us to come back. Unlike any other planet, Uranus spins on its side, an axial tilt of 98 degrees. Scientists believe a massive collision with a planet-sized object early in its history knocked it over. This means its poles, not its equator, face the sun, plunging parts of the planet into 21 years of sunlight, followed by 21 years of darkness. Its seasons are the most extreme in the solar system. There's the atmosphere. Uranus is cloaked in methane gas, which absorbs red light and reflects blue, giving it that distinctive cyan hue. But beneath those clouds lies something even stranger. Scientists believe Uranus has a supersonic ocean, a layer of water and ammonia under such intense pressure that it may exist as a hot, slushy, electrically conductive fluid. Some even think it could rain diamonds deep inside the planet. Yes, diamonds, formed as carbon atoms compress under immense pressure, falling through the icy layers like glittering hailstones. And surrounding Uranus, a set of faint, dark rings, almost invisible to the human eye. These rings are far younger than Saturn's and remain one of the biggest mysteries in the solar system. Everyone knows Saturn has rings, giant, bright, beautiful rings stretching hundreds of thousands of kilometers across the sky. Discovered in 1977, the rings of Uranus were a complete shock. Astronomers weren't even looking for them. They just happened to notice that something was blocking the light of a distant star. And then it happened again and again. These weren't moons. These were rings, narrow, dark, and mysterious. Unlike Saturn's icy reflective rings, the rings of Uranus are made of something much darker, tiny particles of rock and dust, barely reflecting any sunlight. In fact, they're pitch black. So dark, scientists say they reflect just 2% of the sunlight that hits them, as black as charcoal. There are 13 known rings, but they're incredibly thin, only a few kilometers wide, and sharply defined like cosmic razor blades. Where did these rings come from? Scientists believe they may be the shattered remains of ancient moons, moons that got too close to Uranus and were torn apart by its gravity. This theory also explains the strange, jagged structure of the rings. Some are shepherded by tiny moons that keep the rings in place like cosmic sheepdogs. Because of Uranus's extreme tilt, it spins almost perfectly sideways. The rings are often edge-on when viewed from Earth. That makes them nearly impossible to detect with normal telescopes. Even Voyager 2, the only spacecraft to fly past Uranus, could barely see them. And yet, they're there, orbiting silently, waiting to be understood. Now, scientists are calling for a dedicated mission to Uranus, not just to study the planet itself, but to get a closer look at its bizarre ring system. Could they hold clues about how moons form, or how planets evolve after violent impacts? After all, Uranus was likely knocked on its side by a massive collision, and the rings may be the evidence that's still floating in orbit. They don't sparkle, they don't shine, but the rings of Uranus are a hidden wonder of our solar system, fragile, dark, and hauntingly beautiful. In the vast silence of space, sometimes the most extraordinary things are the hardest to see. But perhaps the most compelling mystery lies in its magnetic field. Unlike Earth's neatly aligned magnetosphere, Uranus's magnetic field is wildly off-center and tilted, rotating in a lopsided dance through space. It doesn't just defy symmetry, it defies logic. This strange magnetic behavior could give us clues about how planetary dynamos work, and even help us understand alien worlds beyond our solar system. Because, as strange as Uranus is, it might actually be common. Most exoplanets we've discovered are ice giants, Uranus-like worlds orbiting distant stars. If we want to understand the galaxy, we must understand Uranus. We've only scratched the surface of this tilted world, and yet it may hold the key to unlocking the secrets of our solar system and the universe beyond. Uranus, the overlooked giant. Strange, silent, waiting. In the frozen dark beyond Saturn, where the sun is just a pale dot in the sky, spins a planet unlike any other, a world of violent storms, ghostly rings, and a moon that shouldn't exist. And yet, it does. Neptune is the most distant planet in our solar system and the most mysterious. We've only been there once. What we found defied every expectation, and what we still don't know might change everything we think we understand about planets, moons, and the birth of solar systems. This is Neptune, and you're about to see why scientists are desperate to go back. Far beyond the warm light of the sun, past the familiar orbits of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, lies a world cloaked in mystery. A ghostly blue giant swirling with storms, spinning faster than any other planet, and hiding secrets that have puzzled astronomers for generations. This is Neptune. Today, we embark on a journey over 4.3 billion kilometers from Earth to uncover the violent weather, invisible rings, exotic moons, and the strange, icy heart of the solar system's most distant planet. Unlike every other planet visible to the naked eye, Neptune was not discovered through simple observation. It was predicted, calculated into existence. In the early 1800s, astronomers noticed that Uranus wasn't moving as expected. Something unseen was tugging at it. French mathematician Urbain Le Verrier and British astronomer John Couch Adams independently concluded another planet must be out there. On September 23, 1846, Johann Galle pointed a telescope at the predicted coordinates, and there it was. Neptune, discovered not by sight, but by mathematics. Neptune is the fourth largest planet by diameter, but denser than Uranus. Its stunning blue hue comes from methane gas in its upper atmosphere, absorbing red light and reflecting blue. Beneath the clouds lies a vast mantle of water, ammonia, and methane, compressed into an exotic, slushy, high-pressure soup. And at the heart, a dense core of rock and metal as hot as 5,000 degrees Celsius. Despite being so far from the sun, Neptune's winds are the fastest in the solar system, reaching over 2,100 kilometers per hour. Its storms rage across the planet with unimaginable force. In 1989, NASA's Voyager 2 revealed a massive, Earth-sized storm dubbed the Great Dark Spot, a vortex of chaos rivaling Jupiter's Great Red Spot, but transient, disappearing within just 5 years. What fuels such ferocity? Internal heat. Neptune emits over twice the energy it receives from the sun, driving powerful convection and high-altitude clouds made of frozen methane crystals. Neptune has 14 known moons, but one stands out. Triton, a captured object, possibly a former dwarf planet orbiting backwards, a retrograde path unlike any major moon in the solar system. Voyager, 2 spotted geysers erupting nitrogen into space. Triton is alive, geologically active, despite temperatures dropping to minus 235 degrees Celsius. And it's spiraling inward. One day, it may be torn apart by Neptune's gravity. Other moons are irregular and rugged, orbiting in strange elliptical paths, clues to Neptune's violent gravitational past. If you blink, you'll miss them. Hidden in the shadows of Neptune's glare are rings so faint, so fragile. It's a wonder we even know they're there. Yes, Neptune has rings, faint, dusty, and mysterious. Unlike Saturn's majestic display, or even Jupiter's wispy bands, Neptune's rings are something else entirely. Chaotic, clumpy, and incomplete. They don't behave the way they should. Some arcs appear stable, defying physics. How they persist remains a mystery. Are unseen moons shepherding them? Or is it something else entirely? Take the Adam's ring. It doesn't form a perfect circle. Instead, it's broken into arcs. Dense clusters of dust and debris that should disperse with time, but they don't. Somehow, they hold together. Voyager 2 spotted these in 1989. Scientists thought the arcs would disappear within years, but decades later, we still see them, unchanged. Something is holding them in place. But what? One theory? Tiny, unseen moons, shepherds, corralling the dust into these strange shapes. But even that doesn't fully explain it. It's like Neptune is rewriting the rules of ring physics. These are the rings you weren't meant to see. Subtle, unstable, and eerily beautiful, like the echo of something ancient, slowly fading away into the dark. In August 1989, Voyager 2 made its closest approach to Neptune, just 4,950 kilometers above the clouds. It's the only spacecraft to ever visit. In just a few hours, Voyager changed everything. We saw the Great Dark Spot, ice volcanoes on Triton, and magnetic fields tilted 47 degrees from the rotation axis. And then, Voyager moved on, leaving Neptune behind, heading for interstellar space. 3 decades later, Neptune remains largely unexplored. No orbiter, no lander, no return mission. Yet, scientists dream of returning to orbit Neptune, plunge into its clouds, sample Triton's geysers. Every answer so far has led to more questions. In the vast expanse of our solar system, Neptune is a cold, distant outpost, but it may hold the keys to our planetary origins, to ice giants in other solar systems, and the forces shaping entire worlds. The more we learn, the more we realize how much remains unknown. Neptune waits, silent, beautiful, ready to reveal its secrets to those brave enough to return. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey to the edge of the solar system, give us a like, hit subscribe, check out and explore our other space documentaries. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious. Beyond the orbit of Neptune, where sunlight fades and temperatures plunge, lies a region of our solar system that's still largely unexplored, a cosmic frontier filled with mystery and wonder. Here, drifting through the cold silence of space, are the forgotten worlds, the dwarf planets. They're small, icy, and overlooked, but their stories could rewrite everything we know about the formation of our solar system. You've heard of Pluto, once a proud 9th planet, now a symbol of celestial controversy. But did you know there are others? Haumea, spinning like a cosmic football, Makemake, cloaked in red methane frost, Eris, even more massive than Pluto and the spark of a scientific redefinition, and Ceres, the watery world hiding in the asteroid belt. These are not just planetary castaways. They are ancient survivors from the dawn of our solar system, holding secrets locked in ice and rock. Secrets that could tell us where we came from and what else might be out there. In this documentary, we'll journey across billions of kilometers through asteroid fields and Kuiper Belt debris as we explore the rise, fall, and rebirth of dwarf planets, witness the missions uncovering new truths, and dive into the strange alien environments of these distant worlds. They may be small, but their impact is colossal. Welcome to the edge of everything we know. For decades, we were taught that our solar system had 9 planets, Mercury through Pluto. Simple, clean, complete. But space doesn't follow simple rules, and neither does the definition of a planet. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union redefined what a planet is, and Pluto, along with others like it, didn't make the cut. Why? It failed one crucial test. It hasn't cleared its orbital neighborhood of other debris. Unlike Earth or Jupiter, Pluto shares its path with countless other icy bodies. It's a member of the Kuiper Belt, a region filled with frozen leftovers from the birth of our solar system. So, what is a dwarf planet? It's a celestial body that orbits the Sun, has enough gravity to become nearly round, but hasn't cleared its orbital path. It's a planet, sort of, but not quite. Far from boring or insignificant, these tiny worlds are incredibly diverse, and they're reshaping our understanding of what it means to be a planet in the first place. Coming up, we'll explore the rise and fall of Pluto, the discovery of even stranger worlds, and why some scientists believe the current definition of a planet might be due for another shakeup. Between Mars and Jupiter, tucked away in the rocky chaos of the asteroid belt, drifts a world that defies expectations. It's not just a rock, it's not quite a planet, and it might be hiding an ancient ocean beneath its surface. This is Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt and the closest dwarf planet to Earth. But don't let its size fool you. Ceres could hold the key to one of the biggest questions in science. Could life exist beyond Earth, even in the asteroid belt? Discovered in 1801, Ceres was once considered a planet, then an asteroid, and now, officially, a dwarf planet. It's roughly 940 kilometers across, about the size of Texas, and makes up nearly a third of the entire mass of the asteroid belt. Ceres orbits the Sun every 4.6 Earth years, and it rotates every 9 hours. It's round, unlike most asteroids, because its gravity is strong enough to mold it into a sphere. And that's part of what makes it a dwarf planet. But here's where it gets wild. Ceres isn't just rock and dust. Scientists believe it once had a global ocean beneath its icy crust, and even today, evidence suggests that some of that salty water may still exist. In 2015, NASA's Dawn spacecraft arrived at Ceres. What it found stunned scientists. Strange, bright spots on the surface. At first, they looked like reflections or glitches. But then came the truth. These spots were made of sodium carbonate, a type of salt left behind when salty water seeps up from underground and evaporates in the vacuum of space. In other words, Ceres is geologically active. Even more astonishing, some of this briny water may have risen to the surface only a few million years ago, yesterday, in cosmic terms. Where there's water, there's the potential for life. And while Ceres isn't exactly cozy, with temperatures dropping to minus 100 degrees Celsius, life doesn't always need warmth. Some extremophiles on Earth thrive in salty, cold environments, just like those on Ceres. We're not saying there's life, but the ingredients are there: water, carbon-based molecules, and internal heat. The three building blocks for something more. So what now? NASA's Dawn mission ended in 2018, but Ceres left scientists with more questions than answers. There's growing interest in returning. This time, maybe even with a lander or a sample return mission. If we could drill into the surface or analyze the chemistry of those mysterious bright spots up close, we might finally know if this little world could, or did, support life. Ceres isn't just a frozen rock floating in the void. It's a time capsule, a preserved relic from the early solar system when planets were still forming and water was everywhere. It reminds us that you don't need to be a planet to be important. Sometimes the most overlooked places are the most extraordinary. And who knows? In the not-so-distant future, we might look to Ceres not just as a mystery, but as a destination. From forgotten rock to ocean world, Ceres is rewriting the story of where life might be hiding in our solar system. Like, subscribe and hit the bell for more journeys into deep space. Next up, Pluto. Once the 9th planet of our solar system, Pluto was cast out, stripped of its planetary status in 2006. For some, it was just a scientific redefinition. For others, it felt like a cosmic betrayal. But what if we told you Pluto has never been more fascinating? It's not just a cold rock drifting in the dark. It's a dynamic world with towering ice mountains, nitrogen glaciers, blue skies, and maybe, just maybe, a hidden ocean. This is the incredible story of Pluto, the little planet that refused to be forgotten. Pluto was discovered in 1930, a tiny dot in a sea of stars. For 76 years, it held its place proudly as the 9th planet. But something didn't quite add up. Pluto was far smaller than expected, only about 2/3 the width of our moon. Its orbit was strange, tilted, elongated, and sometimes closer to the sun than Neptune. Then came the discovery of Eris, a distant, icy world even more massive than Pluto. Astronomers had a choice: either add dozens of new planets or redefine the word entirely. And so in 2006, the IAU reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet. The decision sparked outrage in classrooms, in newsrooms, and even in late-night TV monologues. But science had moved on, or had it? Just months before Pluto's demotion, NASA launched New Horizons, a mission that would travel nearly 5 billion kilometers to give us our first up-close look at this mysterious world. On July 14, 2015, after a decade in space, New Horizons flew by Pluto, and the world was never the same. Pluto wasn't a dead rock. It was alive, active, complex, with icy mountains taller than the Rockies, a vast frozen plain named Sputnik Planitia made of nitrogen ice, and an atmosphere that scatters sunlight into a soft, blue glow. Scientists now believe there may be a liquid ocean beneath Pluto's icy shell. Its smooth plains and stretched surface suggest geological activity, maybe caused by the sloshing of water beneath. Could it be warm enough? Could it be salty enough? Could it support life? We don't know yet. But Pluto has joined the ranks of worlds like Europa and Enceladus, icy bodies that may hide oceans and, potentially, secrets. Pluto has 5 known moons. The largest, Charon, is so massive that the two bodies actually orbit a point in space between them. It's less a planet and moon than a double dwarf planet system. Together, they form a beautiful, chaotic dance, a reminder that Pluto is not alone, and it's far more than just a demoted dot on the planetary roster. Some scientists are pushing to bring Pluto back, arguing that the IAU's definition is too strict, outdated, and based on technicalities rather than planetary behavior. In fact, if we judged planets by their geologic complexity, Pluto would easily make the cut. So, is Pluto a planet, a dwarf planet, a binary system, or something else entirely? Whatever we call Pluto, it remains one of the most captivating bodies in the solar system. A reminder that even the smallest worlds can hold the biggest surprises. In the end, Pluto's story isn't about labels. It's about curiosity, exploration, and the joy of being proven wrong by the universe. It's fast, it's weird, and it has rings. No, we're not talking about Saturn. We're talking about Haumea, one of the strangest dwarf planets in our solar system. Located beyond Neptune in the Kuiper Belt, Haumea is a frozen, elongated world spinning faster than any other known large object in our solar system, once every 4 hours. That insane spin stretches Haumea into an oval shape, more like a squashed football than a sphere. But wait, there's more. In 2017, scientists discovered that Haumea has a ring, the first ring system ever found around a dwarf planet. It also has 2 moons, Hi'iaka and Namaka, named after Hawaiian goddesses, just like Haumea herself. It's icy, mysterious, and probably the result of a massive ancient collision, one that might have flung pieces of Haumea across the Kuiper Belt. So next time someone says Pluto is the most interesting dwarf planet, tell them about Haumea, the fast-spinning, ring-wearing oddball hiding at the edge of the solar system. Haumea, weird, wild, wonderful. Meet Eris, the icy troublemaker that sparked one of the biggest debates in modern astronomy. Discovered in 2005, Eris is nearly the same size as Pluto, but slightly more massive, and that shook everything up. Why? Because if Pluto was a planet, then so was Eris, and maybe dozens of other icy bodies waiting to be discovered. The result? In 2006, the International Astronomical Union redefined what it means to be a planet, and Pluto got demoted. That's right. Eris didn't just join the club, it forced the club to rewrite the rules. Eris is about 2,326 kilometers across, just a hair smaller than Pluto, but it's 30% heavier and extremely reflective, almost as bright as freshly fallen snow. It also has a moon, Dysnomia, named after the Greek spirit of lawlessness, a not-so-subtle nod to Eris's role in disrupting the solar system's order. It orbits the Sun once every 557 years, nearly 3 times farther out than Pluto. Temperatures here? A chilling -243 degrees Celsius. Eris might be small, cold, and distant, but it changed how we see the entire solar system. Eris, the planet that changed everything. At the frozen edge of our solar system drifts a mysterious little world, smaller than Pluto, but just as fascinating. This is Makemake, one of the 5 officially recognized dwarf planets. It's cold, it's red, and it's been hiding secrets for years. Makemake orbits the Sun in the Kuiper Belt, way beyond Neptune, a lonely, icy realm where sunlight is barely more than a whisper. Its surface is covered in frozen methane and nitrogen, giving it a reddish tint, kind of like Pluto, but a little more alien. And with surface temperatures around -240 degrees Celsius, Makemake is one of the coldest known places in the solar system. For years, Makemake seemed like a solo act, until 2016, when astronomers spotted a tiny dark moon orbiting it. Nicknamed MK2, this moon is so dim it's like trying to spot a charcoal pebble in a snowstorm. But its discovery gave us critical clues about Makemake's mass and gravity. Makemake was officially classified as a dwarf planet in 2008, the same category as Pluto, Eris, Haumea, and Ceres. And while it's smaller than Pluto, it's still one of the largest known objects beyond Neptune, a frozen relic from the birth of our solar system, mysterious, icy, and just distant enough to be overlooked. Makemake is a reminder that even in the vast emptiness beyond the planets, strange and beautiful worlds are waiting to be explored. Makemake, silent, cold, enigmatic. From the asteroid belt to the icy frontier beyond Neptune, dwarf planets remind us that size isn't everything in the cosmos. These small frozen worlds Pluto, Ceres, Eris, Haumea, Makemake, may not dominate the headlines like Mars or Jupiter, but their stories are no less powerful. Each one is a time capsule, a cosmic puzzle piece, a world shaped by collisions, chemistry, and the quiet passage of billions of years. They challenge our definitions, stretch our imaginations, and prove that even in the farthest, coldest corners of space, there is still wonder. Our journey through the dwarf planets is just beginning. With every mission, every discovery, we get a little closer to understanding where we come from and where we might be going. Because in the vastness of space, even the smallest worlds can change everything. Thank you for exploring the forgotten worlds of our solar system. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more space documentaries. And remember, out here, there's always more to discover. And that brings our journey through Earth's neighboring planets to an end, for now. If you enjoyed this deep dive through the solar system, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another adventure across the cosmos. We've only just scratched the surface of what's out there, and there's so much more to explore. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep looking up.